got you. No, but it was hilarious. So like we're in Costa Rica. We're sitting with my buddy. I was sitting there and like my buddy Josh and Jake, they're always in like the guy. So I guess I'll rewind. Costa Rica is the only place you'll ever go where there's more girls than guys. And we're at this hostel that's like a bar too. And my buddy Josh and Jake, like their move is to sit in the corner, get absolutely plastered. And they're sitting in the corner getting absolutely plastered. So I'm like, all right, I'm sober. So I was like, I'm gonna go and like, talk to some girls. And there's these two blonde girls, and I just kind of go over to them. They turns out they're Norwegian. So we start talking. And then my buddy Jake, he starts walking over. I'm just like sitting there, like, no, please don't sit. Please don't sit. Because I know he's gonna say something stupid. He does something worse. He sits and does not say a single word the entire like 30 minutes. The girl I'm sitting with talking to, she literally leans in, she's like, is he mute? Like she asked me, she thought like he couldn't speak. And I'm like, I'm trying not to laugh my ass off. I'm like, no, he's just Jake. Then his brother, they're twins. His brother comes in, and then again, that's when like shit really hit the fan. He's plastered at this point. So I'm just like trying to like, just when I talk to people, like no matter if it's a girl or a guy, I really try to go at it with like no intention. Wherever the conversation goes, it goes. Like if I start feeling a connection, I'll bust out my flirty cap a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But like if it's just like a friend, that's perfectly chill too. And I would say these girls are probably more like the friend area, but my buddy Josh comes moseying in and he's got a mouth on him. And he's just like starts asking them these questions, and they're like literally like instantly just trying to get the hell out of this hostel. Like they're like, "All right, we need to abandon ship." And that's just like, I don't know, like it's like it sucked for me at the moment because I was having a good conversation, but like looking back on it, I can laugh a lot because I'm like, I wouldn't have had this hilarious interaction with these two like girls, and I'm sure they had a positive note from me, but like I wouldn't have had that little moment of just me being like, man, I can't take these people anywhere. Like, and that was like every night. And then there was I'll tell you one other night too that was really funny. I thought I met the girl of my dreams. Like honest to God. Oh my God, dude. I was swooning. I was swooning at the sunset. She didn't drink. She didn't smoke. She was traveling the country by herself. I'm like, this is rad. She's a like a software engineer, so she was like absolutely beautiful too. And we ended up like I ended up doing like a photo shoot with her. Like I'm like she's like laughing. We're like I was like because I always have my camera. Camera's a cheat code, by the way. But anyways, I'm doing a photo shoot with her. We're laughing, having a great time. And I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, oh yeah, let's go out tonight. Wasn't gonna drink anything. We were gonna go get some food and then like probably go sit at the beach again. The one night my buddies decide to get blackout is that night. And I can't leave a brother hanging, right? So they're trying to fight this like Swedish like 40-year-old. Well, the Swedish 40-year-old kind of came aggressive at them. They're like next thing you know, they're getting into like a scuffle. So I have to like ditch the girl of my dreams and go save my buddies. Then we're walking out and there's like police officers with like fully automatic rifles. My buddy's like, "Oh, dude, I gotta get a photo." I'm like, "Of course you gotta get a photo." So then we're getting a photo. I have a photo now. Favorite photo of my life. Him sitting next to this guy. The guy loved us, but standing next to this police officer, fully automatic rifle, and he's like, oh look, you can see the like. I'm super scared around guns. I've been a hunter my whole life, but the guy's literally flipping the switch to like fire. He's like, this is the full auto mode. This is the semi mode. I'm like, you shouldn't be doing that in public.
Oh,
But yeah, that was another fun night. But ultimately, what I'm trying to get to is like, albeit I have such a different way of life than my buddies, I love who they are, and I wouldn't want them to change that for the world. So I think it's very important to have people in your life that you just like you either love who they are and accept it, or you just move on. Like I could easily just stop hanging out with them or talking to them. I don't want to though. Like they bring me so much joy in a different way. Like most of my like I don't be wrong. Like I'm also there's some mornings where I'm like, oh, I had to stay up till 4 in the morning taking care of them when I didn't get to see the sunrise. But I'll be able to see the sunrise like with other people maybe at some point. But I know going into this trip, like I chose to go to this trip with them and I knew what I was signing up for. Like if you're going out with people, you can't be mad at them for them staying out till 4 in the morning if you know going into it that they're the kind of people that are going to stay out till 4 in the morning. That's your own damn fault. So
yeah.
take some damn accountability. Or, like I said, miss out on those beautiful moments. And that there's a whole, I mean, I could go down the whole rabbit hole of Costa Rica. It's just an absolutely incredible country. It's like something you'll never really like. I mean, I don't know anywhere else I've ever been that's like that, honestly. 10 out of 10 recommend you go. I would love to go with you, honestly, because I would wonder how much different me and your time there would be from like when I'm with my buddies. I think it would be just as much fun, but in like a different way, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, 100%. It's so interesting you say that. Well, a lot of things that gets unpacked there. Like I have the same relationship with friends too, dude. Like it's so you need that. You know, if you just had a million friends like you and me who are just like health nuts, like avoiding seed oils and microplastics, bro, I think our lives would be pretty dull and pretty boring. Like if we're not like if you're not like those are like the some of the most fun moments when you're just like out and about doing stuff that you don't expect with friends like childhood friends or like friends that sure they drink, but there's nothing wrong with drinking. I think that's where like there's that like balance or demonization of like drinking and stuff like and sure I probably like I post about like not drinking and stuff so I'm probably guilty as well but like there's nothing wrong with it like it's like saying like you have to it's like saying there's a right way to live life like so I'm the same as you. I think a lot of people kind of have that balance with like friends who like drink and like you, you need to kind of like they drag you out of your comfort zone and like all that um which is really good. I mean like I guess in saying all that like I think my life would be pretty boring without some of my like my best friend, he's English, probably just like you. Sounds like your friends just can be chaos and it's the same like but I love him. I don't want to say for that reason. I just love him for who he is.
Yeah.
Like he's able to just so yeah, I think our lives would be pretty boring. But in terms of the trip, I've considered going to Costa Rica. I've looked into like cities and stuff where to go. I wanted to ask you that, but yeah, I think it'd be sweet.
Dude, for sure. I definitely wouldn't go where I typically go in Costa Rica with you. I think that's definitely more of a party town. But like, if we went to more of like well, we could go there. Don't be wrong. Like, it's a beautiful town, Santa Teresa. It's incredible. But like, it's definitely a party town. Like, if I were to go again, if not with like my goofball buddies, I
Yeah.
would want to try somewhere that's a little bit more health and wellness. Because I mean, you can throw a dart on a map and there's probably a health and wellness center right in Costa Rica. They're everywhere. I'm not saying I want to do that per se. I mean, I think those are beautiful and I'm sure that's an experience I want to do at some point in my life. But I'm just like an adventurous soul. Like I like to go places and like really immerse myself in the culture. Like I've never understood the concept of a lot of way people travel in terms of like they travel to escape life. I travel to live life, like truly. When I go somewhere, like I'm not going there to escape my life at home. Like most of the time I miss my life at home. Like I miss my dog. Like I miss working. Like I love what I do. But parts of me, like new wrinkles get unpacked every time I go and explore somewhere. Like there's something I can learn from each culture I visit. Um, that is just amazing. Like when I was just in Europe last year, like to see the differences between France, Spain, and then Austria was like crazy. Like, but it also like there's so much like value I got from that. Like for instance, like Spain, like I learned how to like party pretty late. That was one thing I'll appreciate them. They taught me how to party pretty late, and it's just a very slow pace, just good energy there. France. France, Paris really is a city of romance. Like I was not gonna lie, when I was there, I was single with like a family because I was being a photographer for them, and I'm like, damn, it probably would be dope to be here with like a someone I just love, like romantically. So that would be like that kind of made me lean into like, no, I should probably like get back onto the search for someone like that because I love connecting with people romantically. My God, I'm such a lover boy. Like it is bad. Like I literally live for romantic stuff. Like my music playlist, you would think I'm some like absolute player. Like I'm all R&B, like all like the baby making music. That's like 90% of my playlist. But then I'll just be listening to it at the gym. So I guess I'm making love with the weights. That's
Well,
corny to say. But no, so that was what I learned from Paris. Like, yeah, romance and like having a partner is beautiful. And then Austria was just like friends. Like I just made a lot of friends when I was there. So like I don't necessarily know I would say like there was a big unlock. It was just like, wow, like it's really cool to just kind of explore a city you know nothing about. Like
mm,
I didn't know anything about Vienna, like at all. I literally just landed like it's a stupid story why I picked Vienna. I literally wanted to go to Austria to see this like green lake, which you can like scuba dive in. You can't do it anymore. So I already booked the plane ticket and all this stuff, and I'm like, well, I'm going to Vienna. And landed, had no idea what to do there, but ended up having an absolutely incredible time. One of my favorite cities I've ever been to.
wait, so you can't scuba dive in this lake anymore?
No, yeah, it's like it's stupid. Like there's this lake in the mountains that like when the winter comes, the lake freezes, like fills up with water and freezes over. Like it's a park, right? Like it's like a park you can walk in. And they walk through it during my bad, opposite. In the winter and the fall, the lake water isn't like filled. So like there's benches and like chairs and like normal trees. But then in the spring, the ice caps melt and the lake gets submerged. So you can
Oh,
like scuba dive and there'll be like park benches and like pine trees just underwater. And I was like, that would be so sick to see. Can't do it anymore for some reason. I don't know why, but like you just can't. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know why you can't scuba dive there, but you just can't anymore. So that was my
what's
whole
it?
reason I wanted to go there.
What's the lake called?
Green Lake. I can send it to you. It's I want to say it's Green Lake, Austria, but it's like translated. So whatever green in Austrian
Okay.
is, it looks pretty.
So do you keep in touch with this dream girl? Like we kind of skipped over that.
I have her WhatsApp, so I guess like I could. I guess if I, you know what? There you go. She actually lives in Paris. Paris, the city of love. You know, I just gotta book the plane ticket, fly over there, and be like, I'm in town. Let's
Whoa.
let's let's have that dinner. But
Yeah. So you guys don't talk right now. You just, you exchange numbers and at like sometime when it was late doing the photography, sending her photos, whatever, and you haven't talked to her since?
no, I mean I texted her a little bit. Not much though. I mean, it this is another weird thing. This total side tangent that most of my conversations are side tangents. Um, every time I go to go in a relationship, I meet a girl back home. It's the most annoying thing on the face of the earth. When I went to Austria in like, Vienna, 2 days before that, I went on back-to-back dates with this girl that I absolutely just was like in love with
Mm.
and ended up having a great relationship with her for a little while. We ended up had going our separate ways for an interesting reason, but we won't discuss that on the podcast. But anyways, then this time I met a girl right before I left. So like when I got back, I was like, oh, the first thing I want to do is like go and hang out with this girl, right? So I guess I probably should have followed up on that warm lead of the Moroccan princess from France, but I don't know. I'm a big believer of like if I feel called to send her a message, I will. If I don't, I don't. I just I don't know. I think the only regret when it comes to like a relationship, not that I'm like a professional dating person, but like I have no problem approaching any girl. Like I can comfortably say that. You could throw like Zoe Saldana or like my dream like wife, like Shakira as my dream wife. I would have no problem going up to her and talking. I don't know if it
Shakira.
would go. I don't know where it would go, but like I would be speaking with her. That is a guaranteed fact.
So Shakira or the Paris girl?
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna put you on.
Shakira, I can't outpace Shakira. Come on now. She's 1 in 8 billion.
Yeah, that's so interesting you say that. Fame in general is just so interesting. I feel like that's a whole different whole different tangent. But
Yeah.
so wow. So you did you meet someone before you went to Costa Rica?
Yeah. Met someone and just actually I technically went out on a date last night. Um, and speaking of not being scared of seed oils, probably had a lot of seed oils. I ate a
Mm.
lot of two huge muffins, made s'mores, and so yeah, I definitely probably consumed a fair amount of bad stuff. Guess what? My stomach feels pretty chipper this morning. It doesn't feel bad. I mean, it doesn't feel fantastic, but like it's not like it's in the deathbed, and I'm feel pretty alive.
Yeah.
I'm not decaying as we speak, right? So I don't know, it's kind of funny. Like it just kind of goes back to the whole thing of like the more you focus on like bad foods being good or bad, the more bad a food is, if that makes sense. Like you really are, your perspective paints your reality to a T. If you just kind of like look at it as if like even to go back to blue zones, seed oils are pretty prominent. Wheat is pretty prominent in a lot of Asian culture, like food. Okinawans, one of the longest living people. Japan, one of the longest living people, and they eat seed oils. They eat probably a fair amount of candy and processed goods. I've seen those. You walk down the call like the cultural section of a grocery store. The Japanese got some crazy sweets that I'm tempted to try. No, no lie. I mean, that packaging's calling my name. But
Yeah, that is interesting.
you know
Having
what? You'd love this. You know why they probably live so long? It's because they're stepping. Honestly, they're walking a lot every day.
that is one thing I think that attracts a lot of people to like to other countries. Like we talk about Costa Rica, Paris, like Europe in general, Asian countries. Like I think that is like not that there's anything. I mean, there's pros and cons to everything. Wherever you
Mhm.
go in life, food, stuff like that. Um, that is like so true too, because like it's really interesting that like we've created this culture where like we drive, whereas over there it's completely different. And I'm sure cities, New York, stuff like that, you're walking, you're biking, stuff like that. Um, but that's interesting, like that whole concept there in itself. But um,
100%.
you said something that I had a question, and then it
Okay.
completely slipped my mind. The less I think about it, it'll come. Um, yeah. Oh, this isn't what I was going to ask you, but you know, so I struggle with like that. I still struggle to this day about like eating like organic, eating clean, and I stress about it. Um, what would you recommend me like first step, like in terms, or let me rewind. So I struggle with this like obsession, perfection, eating component. I've been working on, socializing, kind of going out with friends and stuff like that. It's interesting because my work, the way it's set up, a lot of it, it's like sales based. So a lot of it's
Hmm.
like stuff like that. So a lot of it is socializing with like recurring clients, building relationships. So I look at that like my socializing, but I've been trying to take the step away from that to socialize more. Um, what would you recommend? Like, is there anything you're like, Clay, why don't you go, I don't know, go to like a men's group or like, is there anything you're like, this is kind of what I did?
I would just ask yourself the simple question, do you know how to eat healthy?
Yeah.
Do you feel confident that you could make good choices out to eat?
Yeah.
Okay. Even if you didn't, do you feel like the following day or the next meal you could make a adequate choice or a good choice to correct whatever may have been off balance by a bad meal?
Yeah, that's interesting you say that. 100%. I think like that bad meal is something that I like.
Bad,
Have,
yeah.
yeah, that's something I like. I struggle with. Like you mentioned, like cupcakes and stuff like that. I'm like, I, I have this perspective where I'm like, um, it's just healing that relationship with food.
Mhm.
It's like being able to or reminding myself, yeah, it's gonna be okay. You know, um, but yeah, I've stepped into that where I'm like, I'll go out to eat sort of thing, more often, go out, not stress about stuff. But it's in the moment, like I think the transition is the hardest part, and that's kind of where I'm in, if that makes sense.
For sure,
Uh,
dude.
you
Because
know,
the transition, sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but like the transition is like it could be something as simple as like, oh, I'm gonna go out to eat, but I'm gonna get a burger. I'm gonna ask for no bun. I'm gonna ask for no fries. I'm gonna ask for veggies or whatever. I mean, or I'm gonna go out to eat. I'm gonna get chicken wings. I mean, most chicken wings are just deep fried in tallow. I mean, at least if you go to Buffalo Wild Wings, they just use tallow. Is it the best chicken possible? Probably not. Is it the best tallow? Probably not. It's one meal. It's one meal. You can literally just reset the next day, later that day. Don't starve yourself. And if you're someone who's like a macros guy, like the only hard macro to get is protein. So the day of or of the day you're going out to eat, have like breakfast just be a pound of ground beef. You probably are about halfway to your protein goal because I think it's like 70. You get like 93.7. I want to say it's like 70, 80 grams of protein.
Yeah.
You're probably what, like 170, 160 pounds.
Yeah.
So you're a little over. No, you're about halfway to your protein goal. That's one meal that you had before this. Let's say it's a dinner. So you had your breakfast, just pound of ground beef. Okay, it's not the best meal in the world. Like, I mean, it's good, but it's not like if you're just doing just ground beef. But you could add fruit or something like that, you know? Like I'm saying, it's just like protein leverage going into a meal when you're at the place, do the best you can. And if you get 140 grams that day, it's still probably what, 0.75, and that's typically what they recommend for like bodybuilders.
Yeah.
Um, that's at least if you're worried about protein. But even then, if you're worried about like overall health and stuff like that, let's say you have this meal, you feel like absolute death's door the next day, like, oh my God, my stomach feels terrible. I'm gonna pump the brakes. I'm not gonna go out to eat for a few days or maybe a week, and I'm gonna just do everything. I'm only gonna consume foods that like me. You know how to do this. You just need someone to offer you the helping hand. And this is where the community comes in. This is where having people to message and talk about this stuff is where it comes in. You could always shoot me a text and just be like, Noah, I just went out. I had a Chick-fil-A sandwich. It's not doing good, man. It's not doing good. Like I woke up the next day, my back hurts, my neck hurts, my stomach hurts. I don't feel good. Well, do you want to do like a little week reset? Just shoot me a text every day. You say, what should I do? And I could literally be like, well, I would probably just do what tastes good to you, or what not what tastes good. What does your body like? I don't have any issues with like this is me speaking as you. I don't have any issues with ground beef. I don't have any issues with sweet potatoes. Stick with those. But then you're like, oh, but I love my raw cottage cheese, but sometimes some days it doesn't sit too well. Let's just take that out for a week. We can bring it back a week later, or whenever you choose to bring it back. Like I don't know. It's just having someone to talk to about that stuff, or just knowing it in your own self. Like once you eventually get to that point where you're like, all right, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to do carnivore for a week. Like I was telling you before the pod, I might do carnivore for a week because I just had a terrible stomach flu and my stomach has felt a little out of whack. It seems like I might not have to do that, but I was perfectly accepting and ready to just take a week off of other foods to just clean house. You have the tools, use them. Long-winded, but that's what I would say if anyone is struggling with like an eating disorder or yeah, I guess like a fear of foods. Um, and if like, I'm gonna go on in one more. Yeah, I mean, let you go and let me hear how you feel about this. Does that sound
Oh,
accurate?
yeah, it's helpful for me personally. So, but continue.
Okay. What I was gonna say was, it even comes back to like people in general. Everyone knows how to eat healthy. No one honestly thinks the Pringles is the good choice or the Little Debbie or the like, the little bites, those cupcakes slap. No one honestly can sit here and tell me that they're probably healthier eating that than a bag of carrots. It just comes down to choice. Like you get to choose what you put. And this is majority of eating disorders all stem from control. I don't know if that's an actual stat, so don't quote me on that. But I would be willing to bet a majority of eating disorders stem from a sense of control, whether it's a lack of control or a hyper sense like fixation of control. Because no matter what, no one's sticking a tube down your throat and force feeding you unless you're in a coma, So you have control of what you put in your body. If you're out at gas stations today, that's one thing I hear all the time, like, oh, I travel a ton. I've only ever been one place in my life where like I genuinely was like, there's not a lot of good options here if I was trying to eat clean. One place in my life. And it was actually funny enough, it was at the Paris airport. And guess what? I found a good option. I went into the duty free section, like where they sell the liquor and stuff. They literally sell prosciutto, no seed oils, and it wasn't crazy. It was like $6. My sodium intake was probably through the roof for that day, but like I think I got 50 grams of protein, a good amount of fat. I was satiated. That's like the only, but other than that, if you go to a gas station, there's apples, there's bananas, there's RX bars, there's jerky bars. Not all the jerky bars are the best. Bring it back 90/10. You're not going to be perfect every time. You're still, the Jack Link's jerky bar is still better than the bag of Munchos or the bag of Goldfish. It probably is. You're getting protein, you're potentially building muscle, which is going to improve your overall life. And you're not getting like a bunch of random cheeses and stuff like that. So even then, every gas station has like a protein powder, and every like or not protein powder, a protein like ready to drink. I don't love those, but like that's actually probably still cleaner than a Jack Link's jerky bar. So just grab one of those and you're good to go. Like that's one excuse I'll never subscribe to is the I don't know what to, I shouldn't say I don't know. I don't have healthy options. You have healthy options. In the cost of stuff too, that's a whole other argument. Like healthy food's expensive. I'm not going to sit here and say it's not. The egg cost is ridiculous, but you can buy a carton of strawberries for about the same price of a bag of chips. About the same. I'm not saying like it's 1 to 1. Or not even strawberries aren't a good example. Bananas. I know for a fact you can get a bunch of bananas than for the price of a bag of chips.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So
It's it is something that's like a weird like people think it's all, eating healthy is so damn expensive. And sure, there are times where like you go to the more farmers market, stuff like that. Yeah, it's a little bit more pricey than getting food at, going out to eat or the store and stuff like that. But
one sec.
I wonder,
Yeah,
I wonder, go ahead.
there you go. Sorry, my camera was done on me, so we're going to the um webcam.
Yeah. Yeah, no worries. I mean, I don't need to hold you too much longer. I wanted to ask you just a generic question, Noah. What do you train for? Do you train? It looks like you train. What do you train for? And what does training look like? I know you mentioned like you squat, leg day, and stuff like that. What do you train for longevity? You train like what are you training for? What's it look like?
So it's two things. Um, Honestly, this is gonna sound like I told you I'm a lover boy. I train to be able to pick up no matter who my girlfriend is and just carry her if like wherever I want to. Like that's kind of a funny thing. But no, honestly, like I've been out hiking and like I've had girlfriends in the past, like I don't feel like walking. I'm like, jump on these shoulders,
Yeah,
carry them out. And furthermore, it really just more comes back to the only reason I train is because I want to be able to be a capable dad. My number one goal in life is to be a dad. So if my son or my daughter, if we're at Disney World, wants me to walk the entire Disney World with them, and they want to walk the entire Disney World on my shoulders or in my arms, easy, done. Don't even think about it. That's why I train. So I walk a ton. I try to do 10,000 steps a day. And then I lift one because I love lifting. Um, yeah, I'm not gonna act like I don't like the look of when you lift. Like, I mean, I want to look good. I think it's really important. Like, I make this sticker for a reason. Be proud of your reflection. Love who you are. I make it for a reason. Yeah, I want to be proud. I mean, I'm not saying you have to rely on your body to be proud of your reflection, but let's be real here, people. It helps. If you look in the mirror and you're like, damn, looking kind of muscular, you're gonna feel better by your reflection. So that's one reason. But the main reason really is just to be a capable dad or a capable husband, boyfriend, you name it, dog dad at the moment.
that's awesome. So what does it look like? You do like a leg day, a chest day, or calisthenics?
I've done damn near everything, push pull legs, 3 day splits. I find I enjoy a lower upper. I love training legs first thing on the week. I love training legs in general. So leg day is usually lower body. I'll just call it upper lower. So lower body Monday, and typically it's about 4 to 5 exercises, 2 to 3 working sets per exercise, and then 3 to 2 warm-up sets. I'm a big believer in doing warm-up sets and then only pushing yourself to like death's door like 2 to 3 times per movement. Um, I think a lot of people go in, they'll do 4 to 5 sets. I just find 4 to 5 sets of squats, like heavy weight. I'm half-assing like sets 2 through 4. This is a personal thing. Some people I know can like 5 sets of squats just kill themselves every time. Not me. I get a little soft. It's probably some trauma having dealt with like a bone marrow issue. I gotta remember I can't push myself too hard. Um, so yeah, typically compound movements are gonna be like 2 to 3 sets. I lean more into compound movements for my workouts. I only do, like I said, about 4 to 5 total exercises for that area body region I'm working out. So lower, upper Tuesday, and then Wednesday, I like to do like some sort of yoga, a hike, sauna, and then Thursday, legs again, Friday, upper body again, and then Saturday, Sunday, once again, yoga, sauna, walking, living,
Yeah.
you know. So it's nothing crazy. I've debated on like in the summertime, I usually dip to 3 days a week if I'm being honest, just because like I like to be outside more. But we're in like the winter here, so it's kind of more fun to just push your body a little bit more. You're eating more food because you're cold all the time. So yeah, that's what my training looks like, I'd say right now.
So you mentioned something that I struggle with too, like pushing yourself. You've had an injury or like this bone density problem. So what is it like? Like I struggle with not being able to kind of push myself to the way I used to be able to push myself. It sounds like you're struggling or you're encountering something similar. Does that ever, I mean, it bothers me. Does it bother you? You can't like push yourself, not all the time. It doesn't always bother me. Like, you cope, you begin to accept the limitations that you've been, like you accept the cards that you're dealt. It's
Hmm.
not a good way you put it. Um, just out of curiosity, like what do you do to kind of like you can't push yourself to that limit or you can't get to that aesthetic physique that you want to get? um I guess all I'm asking is how do you work through that?
There's a great, I posted about it the other, probably like 2 weeks ago. Great scene from a movie that I think every single person, guy or girl, should watch. It's called, the movie is called Eat, Pray, Love. And it's coming from the perspective of a girl, actually. And I think it applies to both. But basically, the girl in the movie says they're eating these pizzas and they're in Italy. They're like, on this journey to find themselves. And the one girl's like, I can't have that pizza. I've gained like a half a pant size or like a pant size just from eating all this pasta and pizza. And the girl's like eating her pizza. She's like, okay. I don't know about you, but like, let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a room with a guy when you're getting ready to, do the thing, and you took off your clothes and he said, "No, I'm not gonna sleep with you because you're too fat." And the girl's like, "No." Like, "Oh, well, me neither." And nor will you ever. Because he's like, she basically goes into like this long tangent, like he's already hit the box, like he's hit the home run. And I just think about that. I'm like, people are gonna see me with clothes on and like, or at the gym and like lack of clothes, I guess, because I'm always a cutoff kind of guy, or like questionably short shorts. But like they see what they're getting. And if they don't like a six pack, they wanted a six pack underneath, they're probably not someone I'd really want to even do, like just have intercourse with, if I'm being honest. I would rather just not. If they're like, if I honestly, if someone like, it would hurt, don't be wrong. I can't even imagine what that would feel like, but probably not going to happen. You're probably not going to take your shirt off and the girl you're with is like, "Ooh, you don't have a six pack? I can't be with you." It, I think that scene is such a beautiful scene. I know it probably applies more for girls because guys are a little bit more, you know, a little more flexible, but I even think it applies to guys. But I don't think a guy would take his shirt off and a girl would just automatically be like, I'm gonna pass, you know? So
Yeah.
I think that's a really good way to look at it. And also it just kind of further like I train and like I pursue a six pack and I think it's healthy to pursue a six pack and like so I've had one in the past. I think it's healthy to pursue one for yourself. Like if you like the look of a six pack and the look of like muscular abs, then go for it. Don't do it for what other people might like or what might, whatever. Do it for yourself. So that's, I guess that'd be the question. Like when I'm pushing myself in the gym, I want big legs. How bad do I want big legs? I want them pretty bad. Yeah, I got some health issues. Is me completely thrashing myself going to give me bigger legs quicker? The research suggests otherwise. Bro splits will tell you that you need to kill yourself every time, but they're usually people on gear and taking like exogenous testosterone, and your body operates a little differently that way. So at the end of the day, just trust your gut. Like if your body's sending you all the signals, dude, you are freaking killing me. Please stop. It's okay. There's always next week, you know?
Yeah.
I, really, I guess the what I'm trying to get to is just extend your time horizon for everything in life. Lengthen it. Like you might not be at your dream physique tomorrow, might not be at your dream physique in 5 years from now. You might never be at your dream physique, but that's okay. You're still pursuing. Like, do you actively want it? Like, do you enjoy it and you want to do it? Then just do it. I don't know. That's kind of how I think about it.
You look at the bigger picture. Yeah.
Mm.
No, I think that's really cool, Noah. I think it's something that like a lot of people struggle with. You body dysmorphia, if you have any sort of injury that limits you from reaching a certain physique or look physically, um, it's accepting who you are. It's like it's almost like a different issue. It's a deep rooted issue inside of you to an
Hmm.
extent.
For sure.
So
Well, I think you're doing good, man. You're asking people the right questions. You're, I see you. You got a good physique. Like you pop the shirt off for the Instagram reels. I'm like, okay, respect, brother. I think the
thank
more you expose it too, the more you own it. Like
you.
there's something really to be said. Like if you walk around thinking I'm not saying you need to be like some Andrew Tate, like think you're the absolute top G, but like own your shit. Like walk around and you are dope. Everyone is dope. It just doesn't matter of how much can you express how dope you are. Even people who don't have the best physiques, if they walk around like they are the dopest person, people are naturally more attracted to them. Um, so own it. Own who you are. This is what I'm trying to get to.
Love yourself a little bit.
Dude, yeah. I mean, I think like a healthy amount, right? Like don't be ego driven, but you gotta love yourself. Like you have to like love what you see and love who you are, or maybe you don't love what you see, but the beauty of it is you can change it. Me and you both have circumstances that affect it. Like I want ginormous legs. I've had double knee surgery. My knees don't point the right way. Like my muscle is very atrophied from surgery. Will I have quadzillas? Probably not. Do I still wear short shorts that have people question my sexuality? Yes. I don't care. The more I see them, the more I want to work on them. And I think it was Arnold who said this once. He said the reason he always shows his abs is because if he sees them and he sees how other people see them, then he wants to inherently work on them. I'm like, makes sense. Like you just kind of get that re feedback of like, I'm not saying I don't think anyone would be like, oh, why are your legs so small? I have had people say that to me before, I'm not gonna lie. It hurts a little bit. But I'm a grown ass man, you know? Like I'm not a little girl. I just kind of take it on the chin and be like, well, the beauty of it is there's a lot more ground beef and rice in my future and a lot more squats. So I can one day walk in and know that I have done everything I can to have the biggest legs I possibly can. And to me, that's all that matters. As long as I know I've done everything I can, what other people think doesn't matter.
Yeah, hurt people hurt people. I think
Yeah.
there's something to be said about that too. So Yeah, it's doing your best with the cards. I'm always gonna come back to that now that we're thinking about it. Do the best with the cards that you're dealt with.
Hmm.
So
You don't get to choose. You don't get to choose the cards. You can play the game. An
yeah,
ace is a lot better in blackjack than it is in like Texas or like spoons or like some other card game. So
yeah,
whatever the card you get dealt, just pick whatever game you want to play, and then play that game till you run out.
yeah. No, I love that perspective. It's really um it, it it really goes back. I mean, it goes back to like kind of like a fundamental like lesson that we're all like taught. Just do your best.
Mhm.
So last thing, just let people know where they can find your content.
Alrighty, brother. It's at the moment it's just know it all on Instagram, know it all health, and basically you will just see a lot of posts about someone who doesn't know it all by any means, talking about stuff he knows a little bit about. So always feel free to comment if you know more, and send me stuff though I can learn more. That's my big thing. I just always I want to learn as much as I can and help as many people as I can and live a fun, kick-ass life.
Thank you so much, Noah.
All
Really
right,
appreciate it.
peace,
Time's really
brother.
hard. We'll talk soon.
Yeah.